Right, so we're going to start sitting up on the ball. We are going to widen our feet. Keep in mind, when you have a wide base of support, that makes it a little bit easier to stay on the ball. But just in case, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I promise I will not fall off the ball. All right, here we go. We're going to start with just a gentle bounce, something most people want to do when they're sitting on these, like the hippity hoppity. And while we do that, we're going to add some nice big, slow arm circles. I want you to think about stretching out your upper back when you come forward, reaching up out of your hips through your ribs as you come up, and then squeezing those shoulder blades as you come back. So you can take it as nice and easy as you want. And again, just this gentle bouncing. We're going to go one more in this direction, and then we're going to reverse that direction. So squeeze the shoulder blades, stretch up out of the hips, reach forward and squeeze and reach and come forward, and one more in that direction. And then I always like to end the other way, so our shoulders are back and in place, and bring that down. All right, so we're going to add on just a little bit here. If you want, you can take a foot out and in and out and in. Like it, we're turkey dancing. And then bring your feet back together. Adding on, if you want, you can do jumping jack arms. Then if you want to warm up and get a little cardio, you add jumping jack arms and those single legs. And if you feel safe, you can certainly do both legs at the same time. I wouldn't suggest you come all the way up off the ball. I mean, some of you certainly challenge yourselves that way, but maybe stay a little bit grounded. You could do it, but maybe only occasionally. Hopefully you're starting to feel some cardio, heart rate going up. And we're going to slow it down, come back to just the bounce, and then relax into it. Shoulders out of those ears, gentle, gentle bounce. And then let's stabilize. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to extend forward. I'm going to go sideways so you guys can see a little bit better. So basically, we're kind of doing a cow-cat. Extend and round. You guys don't have to turn sideways. You might want to stay facing me so you can see. I just turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. And rounding and extending, and one more time, rounding and extending. All right, so as I mentioned, we want to stay on the ball. So feet wider will be more stable. You want to either be in shoes or bare feet. Socks are typically slippery. And if you have a slippery mat, you don't want to sit on your ball and have your feet on the mat. So just little reminders there. For now, let's bring those feet back into parallel. Match up, ankles underneath your knees, and knees are in line with those hip bones. And we're going to walk those feet forward and straighten our legs, straighten our legs, but then slip forward till your knees come directly over your heels. Should put your upper body in a little bit of a 45-degree angle, but check and make sure your feet aren't way out here. They're right underneath you. You should feel your quads engaged. Notice if you're a turtle, become a beautiful swan. Abs in, back of the neck is long, arms out, feel a little extra challenge there. Hands back down. Walk those feet wide. Feel that stability when you walk those feet wide. Notice that. So again, that's always an option. Now, walk those feet all the way in, knees and heels to touch, and see how that makes it a little more wobbly. So when you need less challenge and more stability, you're going wide. When you want more challenge, you go narrow. And when you want just neutral, make sure that everything's lined up. So by this time, those quads and those abs should be a little shaky because we've been in this isometric contraction the whole time. Although I think some of you are like hanging out, drinking coffee, watching me. So make sure that you're getting your pre-Thanksgiving workout in. All right, shoulders go back and down. We're gonna open those arms this time. Instead of that full T, we're going into our stick up position. You're gonna rotate to me, but make sure this back elbow does not come into your peripheral vision. Inhale back to center, rotate to the back. Inhale, center, front, center, back. Good. If you wanted, you could extend that back arm. And if you really wanted to, you could extend both arms. So really think about opening up those arms into a great big T position, only if that feels something that would make sense. And again, you're sloped, right? You're feeling that in your quads, you're leaning back, that upper body, again, is in about a 45-degree angle, please. And 2 more rotations. And then we come back to center. We're going to walk a little bit farther forward. So now our hips start to come down a little bit, but our head is still off the ball. We're going to bring those fingers into that stick up position again. And then all I'm going to do is to put my middle and index finger at my temples. Deep breath in. On the exhale, pull your belly button in and lift your head, not your chin, just an inch. On the inhale, open your elbows wide. Imagine you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades around the ball. Drop the head. So I want you to feel a big stretch across the chest, support of your head. Deep breath in. On the exhale, flatten the ribs to lift your forehead parallel with the ceiling. So inhale up and over, get that big stretch, and exhale, close it down. So as you're doing this, be really careful not to squeeze in like that, right? So we want to keep our elbows out of our peripheral vision. Again, wider base of support if you want or need it. You guys decide. Good morning, Melissa. And then this time we're going to stay over. We're going to get that big stretch. And then finally, we're going to come back to neutral. Then we're going to roll forward even more. So now our hips are off the ball and we should feel our glutes have to work here. So I want you to think about, am I nice and even? Have I dropped my hips? Let's lift them up. And then we're going to keep our hands outside, either bent or open, totally up to you, but there'll be a little balance involved, so you might end up with straight arms. And we're going to push the hips to the sky by an inch. Push up, push up, push up. So little glute squeeze, a little bit of glute work, just a little bit, warming up for more to come later. And last one. Walk those feet wider. Feel that big base of support. Feel how that engages your glutes and your hammies. Big challenge, walk those feet to touch, ankles and knees to touch. If this happens, then go back to neutral. All right, so you have options with your legs. Once you've decided where you want your legs to be, if you want that last challenge, you're going to try and lift one heel at a time. And then you're going to try and lift a foot at a time. And if you can do that, you're going to try and lift a knee and hold it. And a knee and hold it. If you can do that, you're going to try and lift a leg. And if you can do that, you're going to try and lift a leg and circle it. Right? So you're just going to alternate. So don't just stay on one leg. Make sure you're alternating so you get work on both sides. And again, if just lifting a knee is what you need to stay with, that's fine. Find that balance. And then as you're ready, roll back, mosey your way back up. Sometimes moving forward and back on the ball is the most challenging in terms of staying on the ball. So do what you need to do. All right. And then from this position, last little thing that we're going to do here, my apron's kind of falling apart. So we'll look at that again at the end. It has Snoopy. We'll be naming the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving items, of course. All right, so last little thing we're going to do from here is that balance challenge, right? So hands on the ball, see if you can lift 1 foot, 2 feet, see what happens, find out where you need to be on the ball to make that happen. And then if you're able to do that, again, I'm going to turn sideways just so you guys can see. If you're able to find that balance point, once you're up there.
Get your best.
Morning, Piper. See if you can pull the belly button in and round, and then a little bit of movement through the hips, and then you can try those sides. And if that all works, you can try circles. You're trying to do it with your feet off the ground. If that's not working, maybe just try the balance, right? Just hanging out, because there'll be movement anyway, right? And relax. All right. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to head on down to the mat. We're going to bring that ball with us. So we're going to come all the way down. Let's just take a moment, put that ball on top of your knees, give it a little squeeze, take a little break here, and then ball directly above you. Deep breath in. Exhale, push that ball up to the ceiling, and inhale, bring your arms overhead. Stretch through those fingers, squeeze the ball till your triceps work. Exhale, bring it down, deep breath in. So ab prep, exhale, lift. Inhale, arms reach overhead, and exhale down. Deep breath in, exhale, lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back down, inhale. Exhale, lift. Option, bounce the ball overhead. That doesn't necessarily add intensity. It just adds a little coordination if you want. So you lift, you reach, option bounce, and then come back up and roll it down. Exhale, lift, inhale, reach, bounce, and back. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take that ball between our thighs, so wide knees, and then put your hands on top of the ball. Squeeze the ball as hard as you can. Feel your inner thighs work, and then notice those lower abs should also be engaged. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Here we go again. Exhale, squeeze the ball. So feet are on the ground. We're holding that ball as tightly as we can. Inhale, release. Again, squeeze and hold that ball. Notice the change in your abs. And one more time, inhale, open, exhale, squeeze the ball. And then we're going to lift our feet up. You might have to readjust a little bit. Knees are hip over the hips. I mean, they're wider, but they're not way up here, right? Arms out into a T position. Let's flatten those ribs, pull the belly button in. Inhale, toe touch, pause at the bottom, flex through the heel, squeeze that ball as you come up 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, point the toes, move away, flatten the abs at the bottom, flex the feet, come up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, move those knees away, hold at the bottom, squeeze it in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, reach, 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 hold at the bottom, flex and pull in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we are halfway there. Keep going. Two more. Good, last time, we reach, 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 we pause, we flex and pull, and we relax. Soles of the feet together. Relax those legs open. Bring the ball overhead and just hold it in place. You can let your hands slide down toward the floor, just still holding on to the ball. This should be a good opening all the way through your body, especially those inner thighs that we just worked. And then on the exhale, we're going to float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. We're going to bring those knees together, and we're going to stack them into tabletop. We're going to put the ball on those kneecaps. We're going to extend the ball overhead, reach the toes, double leg stretch. Tap the ball to the knees and inhale, reach. Tap the ball to the knees and inhale, reach. Option, tap the ball to the knees, open them, grab the ball, and extend. Bend the knees, go get the ball, don't bring it to you, and reach. So option to just turn this into keep away from the belly button, basically. Or for more challenge, you go way up, put it between your ankles, extend, come back, go get it. And final option, stack the knees, Put the ball on the shin, roll up to the ankles, roll back and extend. Stack, roll back and extend. So you choose, and you're going to do 4 more of whatever you're doing. You're still working. 4 more, please. And then when you finish that last one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that ball between the ankles with straight legs. If that doesn't work for you, you can go back to the bent knee position. Arms out into a T, and we're just going to rotate side to side. If you want, you can start to roll the opposite leg over. So when I go to the left, maybe that right leg comes up and over. Don't have to, but you can if you want. Then we're going to come back through center. We're going to place our hands on the ground. We're going to inhale, lift the ball in the air. Lift the ball in the air. Lift the ball in the air. One more time. Lift the ball in the air. We're going to put those 2 things together. We're going to go to the left, lift the ball in the air, come back over to the right and down. We're going to come to the right, lift the ball in the air, come down over to the left and down. Left, lift, over to the right, back to center, over to the right, lift, up and over. So it's just a tiny little semicircle basically, or possibly full circle. Last one. We're going to open up those inner thighs again. So soles of the feet together, ball overhead. Feel that nice stretch. And then keep the arms where they are, lift the legs up, bring the feet wider than the mat and drop your left knee in, feel that big stretch. And even put the ball on that right inner thigh, deepen the stretch. You could even put it on the top of the left leg for a deeper hip flexor stretch. Inhale back to center, right knee drops in, left leg drops open. And again, option to put the ball on the right hip or the left inner thigh, whichever you feel like might need a little more love. Love. All right, stack those knees up, put the ball on your ankles. You know this is the challenging one. We're rolling like a ball, not kicking it across the room, but do try and keep it on your ankles. 2 more times. And we stay up. We're going to put that ball in front of us. We're going to find that very tall position on our sit bones. Pull those glutes out from under you. Keep the knees bent, but go nice and wide. Put your hands right on top of the ball. Shoulders squeeze together and then press down so that you elongate through your spine. So you want to make sure they have a little bit of tip in your pelvis backwards. And then as you're ready, you can hinge forward a little bit. Should be a really nice spine stretch. Maybe you try and go a little deeper by getting tall first and then hinging. So you want to grow tall before you move, grow tall before you move. And then we'll roll on back to center. We're going to bend our knees. We did kind of a warm up for our rotation earlier. We're going to do that same thing now. Give me the tiniest hinge back, and then we're rotating side to side. I want you to look at your knees every time you come back to center and make sure they're not dropping in and out. You could bring that ball up overhead if you want, and then rotate to the side, totally up to you. But look at your knees, make sure they're behaving. You have just a couple more of those. And then come on back to center. Okay, next little series, we're going to end up moving across the room. So first of all, you may want to fold your mat up so that you have cushioning for your knees, but also so that you have floor space. And I'm going to try and start as far back as I can, but still be in the frame. All right. So we start with that little plank pike series by coming down into a very deep crouch. Put your elbow on your knee, put the ball against your hand. So way down here, way down, elbows close to the floor, ball close to your face. Good. As you come up, the first thing you want to do is lift your 10 toes off the ground, roll forward, not onto your kneecaps, but onto the fronts of your thighs. And as you come here, notice if your booty's staying back or dropping. You don't want either of those to happen. You want to find that plank, and then you do your best to extend your arms, bring your head between those arms. Exhale, roll it back. You can come all the way to starting position or just halfway back. But you may notice that if you come only halfway back, you start to not give yourself space to go to that full extension. So find something that feels like it works for you. If you don't have the ability to go all the way out, that's okay, but make sure that you're not creating that inability yourself by not starting in a crouching position. So you might even feel some tricep action here as you come back. Notice that the ribs are probably going to want to drop, so you have to tuck the belly button in. 2 more times. And then on this very last one, we're going to hold it out. We're going to look in the camera and make sure our posture is as good as possible. Ribs in, booty under, reach, reach, reach. Woo! And then we get to flop, flop, flop. So that ball comes underneath you now, right underneath your belly button. Go ahead and drape yourself over it. That should feel really good. The flop position. All right, from there, keep your belly button on the ball, bring your feet wider than your mat, and just straighten your legs. Okay, so now you should feel that hamstring and glute engagement. Bring your hands underneath you and bring it into just a gentle arch. Come on down, come up onto your fingertips. So slide your fingertips and bring it into that arch. So a little more work. If you want to, bring your hands behind you and fly. So as you're coming up, now you're working that low back a bit more. We're going to add on, we're going to let those hands come forward, and then we're going to reach like you're the front of that bow on a boat, bowsprit. Reach back and squeeze the shoulders. And we reach. And this time we're going to reach and we're going to rotate the thumbs open even more. Dive in, rotate open, just one more like that. Dive in, rotate. And then all you're going to do is put your hands on the ground and walk forward just maybe an inch or two so that your hips are higher than your head. We're going to bring our feet together now, and we're going to work the same area of the body by a reverse hyperextension. So we lift with those legs. Very nice. All right, now straighten your arms. You can put your toes down for a second. I want you to notice where your hands are, and let's get those thumbs so that they're only about an inch or two apart, right? So your hands are very close together. And then make sure that you have about 10 inches between the back of your hand and the front of the ball. Then you're going to, whoops, lift those legs so they're in a plank position. You're going to bend your elbows backwards, let the upper body come down and the lower body come up in a perfect Pilates push-up. So elbows come back and touch the ball. Remember, in Pilates, when we're doing Pilates push-ups, it's tricep primarily and then chest. Make sure your body's moving as a unit, so your upper body goes down, your lower body comes up equally. You don't break at the waist or the hips. If you want more challenge, you slide your hands further out, you roll the ball farther down your body, and more of your weight will be out front. And then come up and hold your plank. All right, so we're going to progress from here, but you're going to stay wherever makes the most sense for you to be in a perfect plank. Right now, I have the ball underneath my hips. Let's all start there. Then as you're ready for more challenge, walk your hands forward, drag the ball underneath your thighs down towards your knees. Pull the belly button in, tuck the hips under, press the floor away, Make sure your knees aren't bent and saggy like that. You're pressing everything. So engage the thighs, engage the abs, engage the glutes. You are welcome to stay there. If you want to work a little harder, and I know I'll go off screen here in a minute, drag that ball, hands forward, drag the ball underneath your shins. And you really have to be strong in that upper body. Press that floor away. Bring your head in line with your spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pull the belly button in. Squeeze those glutes. Make sure those thighs are lifted. Last option, and again, you'll just see my lower half of my body, be to walk forward and roll that ball basically underneath your ankles. You press away, make sure in a long straight line, head in line with your spine, shoulders out of your ears, abs drawn in, glutes squeezing, holding any position you want to. When you're ready, if you're at home, you can back up, otherwise take the foot off. And we're going back to that flop again, stretching out that upper back, or excuse me, that back that we just might have felt a little bit. So just enjoy this. And then we're going to roll forward again so that our hands and our feet are on the ground. I want you to lift your right leg up and get it parallel with the ground. Bring it down. Left leg, same thing, parallel with the ground. And bring it down. Option, right leg comes up again, and left arm comes up out of our peripheral vision. If it's easier, bring it over to your side. You can bring it over your head, that's awesome. And then bring that down. Left leg, hip height, right arm up above you, or out to the side. And then we're just going to do a couple more rounds of this. If you're hunting turkey, you need a bird dog. This is your bird dog. You can do this with a pointed toe, feel that a little more in your quad. You can do it with a flex heel and feel that a little more in your glute. How about one more on each side? Hold it for a count of 4, your own count. Beautiful. Keep your hands and your feet where they are. Last challenge from here is a total Superman. Legs off the ground, arms out front. When you get close to the floor with your face, don't hit it, please. Reach, you might have to push off a little. You might have to play with this some. And finally, relax. Love that series. I'm sure you do too. All right. So we're going to rearrange just a little bit. You can take your mat back out, but maybe only halfway, right? Because you want to be able to have floor space in front of you. So the ball is completely in the floor and I'm right in front of my mat. So that's where my mat starts and I've got it folded. So I have a little extra cushioning here. And then I'll roll back and I'm on the mat. And all we have to do to start with is extend the legs and the arms relax off to the sides. So just a nice relaxed position for a moment. You know, that's not going to last, I'm sure. All right, then we turn this into a gentle bridge. So just lift up. If you wanted more challenge, you could bring your arms up towards the ceiling, hands up towards the ceiling. If you wanted more challenge than that, you could bring your feet together. Maybe with the arms in the air, maybe not. If you wanted the last challenge, you take one leg up and down 3 times. And then stay lifted. You are welcome to stick with that version of the bridge. If you want the next one, come back down, roll the ball towards you until your feet are on the top face of the ball. So my toes and my heels are there. Kind of have those bird feet, right? Check out those knees. Mine were wanting to gap open and lift up. And again, I can create more challenge by bringing my hands off the ground. I could create more challenge by bringing my feet and my knees to touch. That makes it very wobbly. Or once again, I could maybe go back to that neutral feet hip distance apart and try and lift and lower 3 times with one leg and then the other. And then again, you can stay there, or you can come down and go for the last level, which means we bring that ball almost to touch the hamstrings. Heels are on top of the ball, and that's the only thing that's touching right now. Deep breath in. We're going to exhale. We're going to lift those hips way up. So once again, woo, hands up in the air would be one option for a pretty big challenge, or walk those ankles and feet to touch. Again, pretty big challenge. And lastly, if you want, maybe hip feet back to hip distance, and you do that extension on one leg. And then we all come down, and we all fall down, and we come back to that first bridge, right? So just nice and relaxed out here. All right, you guys have done this with me a lot. We're going to go into our hamstring glute series. So hang in there with me. Deep breath in. Take breaks as you need to, but be sure you come back. Lift those hips up. We'll roll the ball in and press it away. So hamstring curls. Take a little break. You can do that again, or move your left leg to the center of the ball, lift that right leg straight up in the air, lift your hips, roll in with the left leg. Bring it down. If you're doing double legs, you have one last set of double legs. If you wanted to do single leg, bring your right leg to center, left leg straight up in the air, lift it up and roll in and out. Maybe. Don't squish your cat. And relax. Everyone is going to roll the ball in, bend your knees, and lift your hips. Glute section, here we go. We're going to tap our hips down, lift, lift. Try and keep your knees parallel. Go up as high as you can. Almost there. And relax. Oh. Woo. Bring that ball into your left leg. Let it roll over to the left. It's on vacation. Bring your hands around behind that right hamstring and hug that right knee in. Let it move away from your body. Straighten your arms out, cradling that knee. Bring it back through center and back up and in. Let it drop open to the right. Away and back through center. This time, reach down, grab your right toes and pull back and get that beautiful hamstring stretch. Straighten that leg out. Maybe get some rotations through the ankle. Then you're going to roll that left leg back to center, cross the right leg over. But I want you, instead of being ankle over thigh, I want you to pull it across so that your triangle gets very tall and thin, and then bend that left knee. So it's going to be a deeper stretch on your piriformis. Use your right hand to press the right knee back. Use your left hand to pull the right ankle towards you. Then notice I kind of pretzeled my upper body, so square it up. And then finally cross that left knee, right knee all the way over the left. Let the knees start to drop over. You're not going to go so far that you lose that ball. And then come on back and put the right foot on the ball. Stretching both out. Hopefully that right one feels better. We move the ball to the right. We hug that left knee in, grabbing behind the hamstring. We let it drop to the left and pull away. We come back through center and hug in. We let it drop again to the left and away. And then this time when we come back through center, we're going to reach down, grab those left toes with the left hand, press up, big stretch, and then extend, and then let go, circle. Beautiful. Bring everything back through center. Bend that, or excuse me, cross that left over the right, but slide it over. So maybe your mid shin. And then bend those knees. Feel that big stretch. Pulling my right ankle, or using my right hand to pull the left ankle toward me, left hand push the knee away. Then crisscross all the way, close that gap, let the knees drop right. And come on back through center. Wow. You can let go and mosey your way up. Seated position or kneeling position, sorry. We're going to bring that ball up against our right hip and lean onto it. I'm going to take my left leg in front and my right leg behind and straighten them both out. So I'm kind of draped up over the ball. Notice if you're dropping like that, try and get yourself nice and stacked up. Take this bottom hand and put it on the ball. You can help yourself up, or you can bring that onto your shoulder for more work. A little more work would be one arm extended or both. Closer together is always more challenging. Good. Bring that bottom hand down, lift that top arm up, hold here, listen up, extend that bottom arm out to the side, hold, lift higher and higher and higher, and relax over the ball. So I'm going to bring that left arm up and over. It should give me a nice stretch right there where I just worked. And then we're going to come on up. We're going to move that ball over to our left hip. Drape up over it. Right leg in front, left leg behind. Again, I can use this bottom hand for support, or I can put it on my shoulder to lift. I can extend this arm, I can extend that arm, and bring them closer together. And then hold up, give yourself support, go higher, higher, and then reach, hold, and relax. Up and over. All right, you're staying on this side, but you get to put your left hand down. Then you're going to stack your feet, and it might not seem as easy now. All right, so ribs are straight up, hips are straight up. We're going to lift that top leg, try and get it even with your hip. Don't let it, just leave it here. Bring it forward with a flexed foot, push it back with a pointed toe. Make this a small range of motion because I don't want to see this happening, right? So flex forward and point back. So it's a small little kick, but we just reach and kick one more time. Reach, kick, lift that leg up, pull it back, bring it down, bring it forward, press it back, bring it up, forward and down, back, forward, up, back, down, back, up, forward, down, woo, and relax. We're going to do that same little series on the other side. So lean up against that, put your right hand on the ground, stack your legs, stack your hips, stack your ribs, abs in, top leg lifts, trying to get it right at hip height, flex to the heel, give it a little press forward and a good reach back without movement. If you can have this top hand off the ball, that's great. If you need it for a little bit of support so that you don't drape on the ball, that's fine. Woo! Yeah. You need it for that kind of support. And then lastly, you're going to bring it forward, lift it up, bring it back, down, forward, back, up, forward, down, forward, up, back, down, and one more, back, uh-oh, man, down, and down. All righty. We're going to end up, if you can rotate into this position, that's fine. If you need to move around, that's fine too. So my legs are as bent as they can be. So my hamstrings and calves are touching, and my head is resting on the ball because my booty's right up against it. I could turn that into a chest opener just by opening my arms. If I wanted a little more intensity, I can roll on top of it. Nice chest opener. And finally, if you don't have vertigo or osteoporosis or pregnancy, you could go up and over and let your head hang and take that into a deeper stretch. So this is just a nice, beautiful chest opener, however you want to do it. And then we'll come out of it by tucking the chin, maybe give yourself a little support as you roll up on that ball so that you don't fall off the ball. And then we'll do a little bit of stretching here. It does involve balance, so we'll use our hands to help us press tall. Take that left ankle across the right thigh, press tall so you're not slumped into the ball, and then you can push the ball back and hinge forward for a deeper stretch. But again, notice if you've caved, we don't really want to do that. Chest back, or excuse me, shoulders back. Then crisscross up and over. And then this is a big twist. So again, you're only on that one foot. If you need to, push into the ball. Very nice. Come on back through center and you go the other way. So right leg across, push into the ball to get tall, hinge forward by pushing the ball back. Then crisscross all the way over, rotate, and come back to center. We're going to walk back a little bit, take the right arm down the ball, left arm comes up and over. We're going to roll it down. We're going to bring it in front. We're going to lift it back up to the side and then back over where we started. Then we're going to go the other way. Left arm comes up and over, hips go to the left. We come down and around, up and over and finish in that position. Very nice. Come up. Let's go wide stance. So we're going to kind of do that cat-cow that we did at the beginning of class, but in a different way. Woo. So we're going to extend the spine by pushing on the ball. Knees are wide. Exhale, tuck the ball underneath you, cat. So make it a turkey, sorry. And a cat. And a turkey. And a cat. A couple more times, press into your turkey. And cat, and last time, turkey, stay in your turkey, hands to your heart. 4 bounces and we stand up, 4, 3, a little higher, 2, 1. Nice job, big ball day.